Before the transplant, I couldn't walk. I was on life support.
What was your perspective on life at that moment when you came out of the hospital?
I was very, very sober. I feel so loved that God can love me so much. Quality of life for me is being able to do things for myself, to be alive and well, to praise my God, to cook my own meal. For me, that's good quality of life.
People want to know what has been the most surprising part of recovery.
For me to come out and...
Hi everyone, my name is Aline and I'm here to support Lola Adebiyi on her channel, Face of Faith, right? One of the questions that has been coming up is the aftermath of her transplant. And it's been almost 10 years now, and people had a lot of questions about how she's surviving and how she's living. So Lola has asked me to sit down with her and run through your questions. So we're really happy to have you here today. And I'm going to let Lola tell everyone exactly how she's doing today. And also, we have a list of questions. Hi, Lola. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Aline. I welcome you, everyone, again to my Face of Faith, where I'm going to be telling you how it's been for the last 9 years. And where I am at presently, I'm going to be answering all the questions that you guys sent into my DM.
And how are you feeling? Before we go ahead, that's just how you feeling today. Is it okay to go through this conversation? How are you feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay today. But, every day is not the same. But today is great. Sometimes the energy level is not as great. But today now, it's quite great.
Okay. Now tell me something, Lola. I've been very curious before we go into the questions and everything, because I believe that there's a lot of curiosity. So we heard a lot about your miracle in my channel and the storyline and even your book. And I hope you're buying the book, by the way, guys. It's a tremendous story. Check the Growing Seed channel, the GSC TV channel for the storyline. And also, please check her channel for a lot of testimony. But what I'm a bit curious is that all this time that since the last time we spoke, right? There's been a lot of questions really about, okay, the book is there, but how is it really like to survive with how does it feel to survive with, we didn't talk about it in our event, how is it like to survive with the blood after you have a transplant? How is it like today? How is your life today at the moment?
Of course, it's better, because before the transplant, I couldn't walk. I was on life support. But now I can walk. I mean, things have changed. It's not 100% the way it used to be, but I'll give it 80%. I'm able to have my own shower. I'm able to feed myself. I'm able to cook my food. I'm able to drive. I'm able to hold a conversation. My mental health is intact. So I'll say it's been great. The only thing is the energy level is not as great. Again, age is not, age is not on my side as well. So that is it.
Okay. So what I wanted to go through today is that we are going to talk about the questions that people ask, because I think people had a few questions, but I think a lot of people are also going through what you went through. It might not be a heart transplant, but it might be any form of transplant, and I think people are kind of curious to know, right? So we want to just go through some of the questions that you guys have sent to Lola privately, and we really hope that it's going to help someone, and it's going to go also, and I'm sure some of you are curious to know how she's surviving, right? So one of the things that I want to know is that when you came out of hospital, you were doing well. I remember you did a bit of touring with your books and everything. Walk me through about your life at the moment you left the hospital. What happened? Why can you tell the viewers how it was? Were you energized or were you doing things? What happened?
Yeah, initially after I left the hospital, I was so grateful to God. And like you all know, one of the promises that I made to God while on that hospital bed was that when I come out of here alive, I'm going to be sharing this testimony, this experience. I'm going to be telling people how faithful God has been. So that was what I was doing immediately after I left the hospital. And that was what motivated me to write the book, take the book places, meet with a lot of churches and Bible clubs, share the testimony, and promote the book. And that's what I did for like 2 years until I suffered a bit of rejection.
So before you go into the rejection, we want to see before you go to the relationship, we want to understand. Someone asked, how was having a new heart change your perspective of life? Because we want to go through the challenge, and then there's a few challenges that happen, but we want to see your mental state of mind and perspective. Because I know you made a commitment to God, like you say, you wanted to go around and do all those things that you're doing, but then what was your perspective on life at that moment when you came out of the hospital?
When I came out, I was sober. I was very, very sober. And I feel so loved that God can love me so much. And because the process of a heart transplant, somebody with a match has to die before they transplant the heart to you. So he let one and make it one alive. So I was grateful. I was full of gratitude. That was my perspective. And I appreciated God more. I evaluated my own life as well. That look, what if I had died, But I was grateful to God. It was more of gratitude for another chance. It was more of gratitude for another chance to be alive. And I was even in a situation where I wasn't doing any other thing than just be grateful. And I was sober, I was teary, I was very, very teary those days.
So you had an attitude of gratitude. Your perspective of life was more like, I'm so grateful. And that's probably what gave you the energy to do all those things that you were doing, even though fairness, a heart transplant is something that takes a toll on the body. You were fragile still, but you had the energy to go because gratitude kept you going. So now you say fast forward 2 years after you have some form of rejection. Can you tell us, is this the only major challenge you had? Yeah.
Challenge I had. With any transplant, infection is a major thing. Infection could be kidney infection, could be chest infection, could be lung infection. Is a major problem. That is one thing that you need to protect yourself from, infection. And that's why you need to watch out where you eat, where you go. First few years after the transplant, they said I shouldn't go out for dinner or anything because you don't know
what
the environment in which the food was cooked.
Oh, that's amazing to hear.
So you need to cook your own food, supervise. You have to take bottled water. You can't just take water from a filter bottle or all those things. They were the main things that I was warned against. So after that, I think I now suffered infection. And I just felt unwell. I didn't know it was infection. I just felt unwell. And I told my husband, I feel unwell. And they took me to the hospital. And that was all that I remembered.
Okay. And that's interesting because one person had, what changes did you have to make to your lifestyle after the transplant? So basically, to answer to that question, you couldn't go to restaurants anymore. You had to be very diligent with your health. And is there other things?
Well, I can go now, but then, at the early stage.
Yeah, you had to be very careful.
Even up to now, it has to be bottled water,
And did the hospital give you strict rules about the type of diet you have to have, or you had to work it out yourself?
No, they gave me strict diet. You need to be on a healthy diet.
Okay.
Eat well. Stay away from junk food, bottled food, canned food. Home cooked food is the best. And that's what you're advised to stay on.
Yeah, okay.
Wear balanced diets as well.
Is there stuff like salt, sugar that you had to avoid?
Stay away from salt, stay away from sugar, stay away from fizzy drinks. Because for me, after the transplant, with my medications, I became diabetic.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Diabetic 2. it's not, normally I wouldn't have been diabetic if it weren't for the medications, you know.
So, would you say your daily routine, that's kind of how was your daily routine change? So basically, what I think you answer a little bit of that, and then someone say, did you have any tip for other going through a similar experience? So basically, you just explain what happened, but if someone was to say, can you write down 5 things that people who are tips that people who are in the same experience will have, would you have that off head, or is it something you can write down?
I can go through that.
Okay.
Number one, just your environment has to be clean.
Okay.
My house is always clean.
Yeah. Even before the transplant, by the way. Yeah.
So
She's always been a clean person.
your hygiene needs to level up. Your hygiene needs to level up. You need to watch where you eat and what you eat, you know. You don't need to expose yourself to the cold, or when going to malls, you need to stay away from the crowd, because there's all sorts out there. There are all sorts of things out there.
Did you have to wear a mask?
I had to.
Okay.
I had to wear a mask then.
So what's
I was fragile.
Yeah.
And I was prone to infection. I could catch infection at any time.
Yeah.
Because my immune system is low. You see, the medications you are on after a transplant is called immunosuppressants. So they suppress your immunity. That means you have nothing protects you. So,
and why is that? Why do you have to have is it to support a foreign organs? Yeah. Okay.
It is immunosuppressants. Those are the medications. Because if your immune system is strong, you're going to suffer rejection.
Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Make sure your immune system is not strong. There are some foods that you're not allowed, like you're not allowed berries, you're not allowed some fruits and some vegetables.
Okay. And do the hospital and the nurses give you a checklist of those? They do. So, yeah.
Interfere.
Yeah.
With your medications.
That's a very interesting conversation we're having, because I think for the past 9 years you've been very good at telling everybody what happened and the success story. But I think I'm so glad that you also giving the opportunity to your viewers to see what it's like to live after. Because I think one of the things that I feel that could have happened is that, oh yeah, I'm okay now, I have a new heart and happily ever after. But it's important to know that as much as God saved your life, there's other stuff that come along. So we're still going to go through that, right? Now, it's not to say that all people will go through that, but everybody is different. Is that what you agree with me? Yeah. So there's all these little challenges after the tips that you're giving to you. Does all these little challenge affect your sense of gratitude that you had? So as all the challenges that you could see, all these things that you listed out, the rejection and all that, and so the life change and the discipline that you have to have, has it affected your sense of gratitude?
Of course it has.
Okay.
Because the things I take for granted before, no, I don't take them for granted now anymore.
Yeah.
You know, now I've come to realize that God owns life itself. That's why the fact that, you know, I still believe that, because some people may say, oh, if God really healed you, you shouldn't have had a transplant. But God gave the doctors the wisdom. The Bible says at the latter day, knowledge will increase. So it's the knowledge that God has given, you know, the professionals that are able to carry out these transplants. It could be kidney, it could be lungs. There's nothing they don't transplant these days. But heart is the only transplant that lasts your lifetime.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Kidney transplant, they say it only lasts for 15 years. You need another kidney.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Wow. So that's interesting to know. Yeah. And tell me something in terms of quality of life. What are the most important things you've learned from this experience when we talk about quality of life?
Quality of life for me is being able to do things for myself, you know, looking after myself, not waiting for someone to take you out, drive you to town, or take you shopping, or take you grocery shopping. They can help, but quality of life for me is for me to be alive and well, to praise my God, to cook my own meal, to feed myself, to bathe myself. For me, that's good quality of life.
Yeah.
And to be at home and there for my children, for my family.
Yeah. And do you think that after the rejection, that primary rejection, and we hope there's no more, that your body it took a toll on your body, is it?
It did.
Because I feel, knowing you, I can tell this honestly to the viewers, that the energy you had when you came out and the person you are is different from now, right? So it's important for people to know that although you were all energized and everything, that things are happening that is kind of slowing you down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, after every sickness or infection, you'll be treated with antibiotics. And you know what antibiotics does to the body.
Yes.
It kills the white cells, and it kills all the good cells as well. So that weakens you and that slows you down tremendously. That slows you down. So, if somebody that doesn't have a transplant were to have an infection, it will be treated in 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be treated in 7 days. But if it were someone that had a transplant, I'm telling you, it will take you 4 weeks, because it's slower, and your body just doesn't, it's not as agile as it were before. So everything, it takes time to recover.
Yeah.
It takes time to recover from anything. Even a fall, it takes time to recover.
So in a way, I want to come back to the question we had a few minutes ago before we go to the next question from the viewers. How is your sense of gratitude today?
It's over the roof.
So you're still grateful?
I'm still very, very grateful.
I'm glad. And that's good to know.
Yeah, because if it weren't for what God did in my life, I won't be here. I won't be here.
Okay. So you think the fact that you're alive is important to you?
It is.
Good. All right. So now, one question that a viewer asked, we're going to go into the process, the medical process of getting a transplant, right? So then we're going to go through the life since the transplant. Actually, let's stay on the life since the transplant first, and then we can talk about the process. So there's few questions that came in for life since the transplant. So it's been the most surprising part of the recovery. So people want to know, what has been the most surprising part of recovery? Like you came out of hospital, but there are things that kind of surprise you when you recover. Is it how fast you recover? Basically, you had a near-death experience, and I suspect this is what the person is asking. You had a near-death experience. Then you come out of it's a miracle. Then you were surprised by the miracle, that's fine. But when you're recovering from the whole process, was it how fast it went compared to the normal standard of heart transplant coming out of the hospital?
Initially, when I came out of hospital, my energy level was high.
That was surprising. You didn't expect that.
That was surprising. Because, I've been lined up for almost 2 years, 22 months. So for me to come out and be able to walk and go for my daily work.
And write a book.
I write a book, cook, want to do everything. Felt like a superwoman,
Yeah. So that can be an answer to that, isn't it? Yeah. So the other question was, someone asked, what are some of the biggest change you have noticed? I think we talked about it already, the change to your lifestyle, the diet and everything. Yeah. But did you see any change in your relationship with people?
I tend to, I'm not out there the way I used to be out there. It's not that, I just want to be, I just like to be more by myself.
Is it because you're worried about getting any form of infection, or is it because you just feel like you want to be alone? Which one it is?
No, it's because of my health.
Okay.
Because with the diabetic, my blood sugar level might be low, it might be high. So I'm aware of all those things, and so I'm wary of. I'm careful for where I go, the things I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I watch out for my energy level. I know
Yeah.
it's not as great as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, so
So what is the bigger change you noticed? We talked about it, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. So lifestyle really changed, isn't it?
that's
Yeah.
really it has changed.
But you just said something earlier when you answered to that, and I bring my own questions in there. Is that you've always been a people person. You like to be out there.
Yeah,
Your husband is a quiet one. You always been the person who like company. You love people.
I love people.
You love people. And how I know you made a promise to God to do your duty of
Share your
telling the story,
testimony.
right?
Yeah,
And then we now talked about all the challenges that you're having, how now you kind of need to be careful. You don't want to be
yeah,
ungrateful to God and say, oh yeah, you saved me.
yeah.
I'm going to neglect what the doctor says, right? So which is a
Exactly.
good thing that we need to bring out there,
Yeah,
because people tend to forget that oh yeah, because God saved me now, yeah, I can. They say don't eat sugar or don't eat this, and you go ahead and eat because you're like, oh no, I'm be safe.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So I'm glad that you still respect the doctors, and it's
Oh,
something that people need to know.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
one thing I need to find out is that because you've always been a people person, has it affected your mental health not to be able to have those connections with people, or do you use the phone more now, or how do you still leverage that part of you that love being with people?
I use my phone more. I use my social handle more. You know, I just realized that not your family is the most important thing. Your family is the most important thing to you. That is the only group of people that you can't do without.
Yeah.
Although I'm grateful to God for for the support that I got from my family and friends and my community, because virtually everyone in my community was praying for me then. So wishing me well, wishing that I come out alive.
Yeah.
But still, you know, if anything had happened, my family would have felt it more.
Of course.
Would
Yeah.
have felt it more. So they are the most important thing to me now. So if they say no, don't go there, I won't go there. No, relax. I'll just listen.
You're here, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we live in you're fortunate to have this situation where we live in an era where technology is amazing now. You can have free phone calls, you have WhatsApp, you have internet.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice. But I think people, what would you say to someone who's not in those environments where there's that easy access to internet and to be able to talk to people and they feel isolated?
They can look for an hobby. They
It's
can look
okay.
for something to do, like writing poems. Like I started writing poems, joined a book club,
Okay.
start painting. You need to look for something to do.
If you live in a rural area.
Rural area, yeah. Farming, gardening,
Okay, farming. Okay.
yeah.
Because the energy level is low.
It's low, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're saying this, is mostly people who live in the Western world, right? So
Yeah.
someone who had a heart transplant in Africa listening to you now, and they're going through almost the same thing you're doing too, and they don't have that easy access to people anymore because of they have to preserve themselves a little bit. So what would you say to the person?
Storytelling,
Okay.
you know, that will really join these clubs where you can, like maybe heart transplant club or any transplant club, where you can go talk about your journey, how you feel, exchange ideas. Oh, this is what I do. This is what I should do, or this is what I should do differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will really, really help, because at the same time you need interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite the fact that you don't want to be affected
Yeah.
by mixing with the crowd too much. At the same time, you wouldn't want to be isolated, because that can do your head in.
Yeah. So someone say, what gives you hope or joy these days? So you talked about your family. And then
Family,
obviously what
yeah.
we're doing now, sharing the story.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
you're very active on social media.
Yeah.
Thank God for AI
Yeah.
support, because in fairness, I can see like I have to be transparent with everybody. We sat down to everybody. We sat down to set up this, and I was very conscious of how tiring it can be. It takes a long time. So if you have to consistently be on social media, I think using AI is good, right? So just some people who are worried about it, that's the best way she can do it, because
Yeah.
having to sit down and do a video all the time is it's hard.
It's
For those who
tiring.
don't know content creation, we see all these 2 or 3 videos. It takes hours, guys. All right. So bear with her. And if you want to know more,
Even the AI,
even the AI
you are
is hard.
sitting down on it for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. So, but she's striving to do it. Now we are going to step away from the lifestyle after, and we are going to talk about a very sensitive part of the questioning that came up, and it's about the donors. All right. So I want to talk about the donors first before about talking about the process of heart transplant and what people need to know and not know. All right.
Okay.
So let's talk about donors. So someone say, how do you feel about the donor and their family? Do you even think about them sometimes?
Of course. Even before I got the heart, I've been praying for the donor, because you don't know who it's going to be from, and maybe it's going to be their only child. It's going to be a father. Maybe it's going to be the mother. You don't know who is going to give you the heart. So you have to pray for them, that God should just console them. Now, I don't know who my donors are. I don't know the family. The hospital did not reveal that to me. And they will not reveal it to the family as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they
Okay.
don't want them to form an attachment. You know, for example, if it were their only child, they might just want a relationship with me because the heart of their child is living on in here.
Okay.
They might just want a relationship with me because of the heart that is in me. So for that reason, that relationship, the hospital wouldn't reveal that.
So it's standard procedure to reveal it,
Not
yeah?
to reveal it.
So that
Well, I
goes,
know that they do that in America. They reveal it in America.
oh, but in Ireland it's not
or
allowed.
in Canada, but in Ireland, no, it's not.
How do you honor the donor's gift, right? So obviously, based on the law and regulation in Ireland, it's not possible.
No.
Now, I suspect people who ask those questions are out of the country of Ireland, but we are in Republic of Ireland. According to you, it's not a procedure to inform.
Although I wrote a letter to them, but I wouldn't state maybe I'm white, maybe I'm black,
Okay.
maybe I'm a mother, or I'm a sister. I wouldn't disclose where I live or anything.
Okay. So you gave it to the doctors to give to them. Okay.
I'm showing my gratitude.
Okay. Okay.
But every day I think about them.
Okay. That's beautiful. So obviously you don't know them, they don't know you, but the doctors are the middle ground.
Yeah.
So we have to trust that the doctor don't give that information.
Of course.
Now I have to say that it's a different process in different countries. Right?
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
think I agree with the whole island process in the sense of attachment. Also, although the direct family of the person might be okay with the donation, but the extended family might not be okay with the donation. And you can find your situation where you've been attacked or you've seen situation like that, right? So a cousin who loved the cousin might not be happy and chase you and become a bit abusive. It can happen, right?
Or most of the time, and I not even be abusive, them. I just want a relationship with you, and you have your own family. You know, you might not be in that position to. Them, I want you for Christmas. Them, I want, just to sit with them, and they just assume that, oh, this is their child sitting with them. This is their mother. This is their father.
So you don't, it can be dangerous, It can be, it would be nice once, it can be a lot for you and for them as well. It's not fair because even though you have the organs, they're not really there anymore. Yeah, I see what you mean. All right, so those questions, you've answered them because they have more questions about how to offer, but to give about the donor. Now, you and I, in a previous episode on the Grow and See channel, we talked about how people reacted towards the whole concept of you having someone's heart and how you feel. And you mentioned in the episode that even the heart transplant itself is a miracle, right? It's not, and then people choose to give their heart, in fairness. They don't just take people's organs unless someone given. So that's something I wanted to bring that we didn't bring.
It's a gift of life.
It's a gift of life.
You can't even buy it.
People chose to give their organ.
They give it to people for free. It's not something you can pay for.
Yeah. So it's a choice also on the family to donate the heart, right? So it's really kind of break the whole sense of, someone died. Someone knew, some people are more aware of dying. And they say, if I die, you give my healthy organ to someone, right? In a way, we have to look at it as a gift. I really appreciate that we bring that back up because it's a constant conversation. And one thing I will tell you is that people, when they don't know anything, when they don't understand something, there's a lot of confusion and judgment. So the process of heart transplant, that brings us to the next part of our questions, the process of heart transplant, right?
Okay.
So questions are, so what is the process of getting a heart transplant, and how do you qualify?
Okay. The process is that they run all kinds of tests on you because they don't want you to waste the resources. You have to be sure that you'll be able to take your medications twice a day as directed, come for your bloods, go for your checkups. You're able to, you don't have any other problem, that they wouldn't transplant somebody who has cancer,
Okay.
because it's going to be a waste of resources. And they're going to run all kind of tests and make sure that there's nothing wrong with you medically, that the only problem was the heart.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
And you're going to be on a waiting list, and when they get a match, because if it's not a match, they're not going to transplant you.
Okay.
The blood, all sorts of things that they look for, it has to be a match. And when it's a match,
And what does a match mean? Like, for someone who's not a medical literate, what does a match mean?
like blood type,
Okay.
genotype,
Okay.
yeah, all those things, they are very, very important.
Okay.
It has to be a match with your one, and the person that will give you the heart has to die. So they're not going to kill anyone.
Of course, we know that already. But someone has already agreed to be a donor.
Yeah, so someone would say, okay,
Because
when
people put themselves in the donor list, yeah.
Maybe somebody has cancer, and they already know that he or she is going to die. So going to say, okay, I'm donating my heart. Somebody with a brain tumor might say, okay, I'm donating my heart.
Okay, that's brilliant. So, did your body reject the heart? We talked about it already. Someone say, and how was the recovery after the heart transplant? I think we didn't talk about the process of recovery. I know you were energized and everything. You were doing your book tour, but I think when people talk about recovery, it's probably right after the hospital. Yeah, did we talk about that? Right, the recovery right after the hospital.
We talked about that already.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we have? Did your body reject it? We know already. You went into coma. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I don't think we talked about it in the last episodes.
I think we did.
Yeah.
But maybe
just
not in
remind
detail.
Your viewers. Yeah.
Yeah. So my body suffered rejection. Rejection is the process where the body is saying, this is a foreign body. This heart, it's foreign, and begins to fight it. Wants it to eliminate it. So that is rejection. And I suffered a bit of that, and I was rushed back to the hospital. And on getting to the hospital, that was all that I remembered. I'd gone into coma for 11 days. And it was only the coma that I saw revelations. I think I spoke about that in the last episode.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. So someone has asked the same question over and over again, right? So it's about how you feel now. Yeah. Are you still the same person, or do you sometimes feel like the person whose heart you were given? It's like, you hear those stories, right? Like, I know this creepy story. And fairness, this question is legitimate. It sounds funny, but it's legitimate because you hear stories about people saying, I feel the presence of the person beside me, and you see even movies about it. So tell us in real life, because you're a real life situation.
In real life, I had nightmares.
Okay.
But maybe I assume that's because I stayed in the hospital for so long.
Okay.
22 months in the hospital.
Okay.
Of course, you will have nightmare.
Yeah.
But I don't. Do you think I'm not Lola that you used to know?
I think you're Lola. But I don't know. I don't live with you 100%. But because you hear stories like that. And I think this is a legitimate question, though.
It is.
Yeah. When you say nightmares, what do you mean? Is it any nightmare that were different from before, or?
That were different from before.
Okay. Would you want to talk about them, or?
just normal nightmare.
Okay.
Somebody chasing you in the dream saying, give me my heart, give me my heart.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just a nightmare.
And would you see their face?
No.
It's the same person? No?
No, I don't even know whose heart I have. You see? But you know it was a lady. And
That is very
that's
important.
creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, I know you want to avoid it, but I think people have spoken about things that happen to them when they have form of transplant, not just a heart. So I think when someone has them, I'm sure it's going in people's mind, like we've seen movies and everything. So you did have nightmares.
I did have nightmares. Honestly, I did.
Okay.
And I was very, very afraid.
Okay.
But God helped me because, that was when I was so close to God. I was reading the Bible. I was reading my Psalms. I will read Psalm 91 before I sleep. When I wake up, I will have some God's protection and guidance. But I did get that.
And is this still happening? Or
No,
it stopped? And when do you think it stopped? Is there something that happened?
Maybe first 6 months.
Okay.
When I was when I came home for 6 months.
So the spirit of the person was still kind of there. Definitely.
You think so?
Yes, we have to. It's true. Like, I mean, I strongly believe that we are spiritual beings. We shouldn't ignore that.
Yeah, because
There's nothing unspiritual about a transplant.
Because the day the person died is the same day that they transplant the heart. The same day. They don't wait for it because it has to be transplanted within 24 hours.
Okay.
After the death of that person.
This is a very interesting conversation, Lola. And I think it's at the mind of a lot of people. And I'm really glad that you're able to share it. But I don't also want you to, because we're talking about God here, I don't want you to be afraid to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because apart from the medical things that is going on with you, people do have other stuff happening to them.
Yeah.
So how did you handle, I know you said you prayed.
I prayed, like I had communion. I did my Holy Communion. I take the body and the blood of Jesus, and I know He gave me the heart, and I was saying He should make the heart mine, because I was really, really, really don't want to be in that place where I'll be afraid.
Yeah.
That's not godly.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says God has not given me the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
That's not scriptural.
Yeah.
That's not right for me to be afraid.
Yeah.
So I prayed that off. But now I'm not afraid anymore. I'm very confident. I'm not afraid. I have boldness in Christ. I know I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. Yeah.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you talked about this because it's not something that is easy, Lola, for people who are on the outside and even for yourself.
Yeah.
And we are all given a body and organs. And I know there's a lot of controversy about transplant and transfusion from some religions as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Some religion, yeah.
But I believe strongly that the aspect of spirituality above the medicine is very important to address. And I'm glad that you were transparent to the viewer and tell them that, yes, I did have nightmare. You had someone chasing your dreams and everything. Because people do ask the questions because they feel and they hear members of the family.
Some people, when I first had the transplant, some of my friends said I changed because, number one, maybe I didn't talk as much as I used to. I didn't interact as much as I used to. I was into myself a bit.
Yeah.
So some people thought that I changed. And some people said my tolerance level was low.
Okay.
Yeah. I was snappy. Yeah. And that might be true, because a lot of things is going on in my head, my brain, pain. I need to watch out for my sugar level, all those
things that need to happen, yeah.
So many health issues that I needed to attend to and I needed to be in control of. I needed to look after myself. You are like a new baby. You know, you need to take your medicine in the morning, take it at afternoon, take it at nighttime, wash yourself, feed yourself. Meanwhile, you have very little energy to do all that.
Yes. So that sense of gratitude you mentioned, that's what kept you going.
Yeah.
Even though you had those fears.
Yes.
I'm glad you say that, because gratitude don't always mean that you're flying with the wings like an angel and then you feel nothing. It's like there's still that, but gratitude is what keeps you going. Even in the midst of those storms.
In the midst of that chaos, gratitude keeps you going. Because even now, when I go to the hospital for checkups and I still see some other people, and I'm like, they still look at me and envy me that, oh, she's lucky. She got her heart transplant. Some people are not transplantable. So people like that have no choice but to die. So,
Lola, I want to say thank you to you, because I've run through all the questions.
Thank you very much.
And I think some of the questions you answered that. Is there anything else you want to tell people about your channel, about what you're trying to achieve with these stories? Remind people why you feel the need to tell people about this and about your channel.
Thank you very much. I'd like you all to follow me on Face of Faith. That's my page. I post there every day about my journey. You can follow me there to see what I'm doing. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to encourage you. You know, whatever you're going through, just put God in it. Even this interview, before we did it today now, we've had a lot of challenges. But the moment we called upon God, and God, please help us, see us through, you know, things began to work. So I want you to follow me, make comments on my videos, share them. Thank you very much.
Before we close today, I want to ask you one question. You've received a lot of support with your family, your husband, your children, your pastors, all of that.
Amazing support. If it weren't for those supports, I wouldn't be here. Not even my family alone, my family, my pastor, my church, this community that I'm in. I receive a lot of support. A lot of people want to support me.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm the one saying, okay, it's okay. A lot of people would have loved to come here every day and and
cook for you.
And, you know, but I'm the one saying, no, it's okay. So the support I got is amazing. It's amazing.
And what would you say to someone who does not have that privilege to get that support? Because it's not always something.
I don't know, because you can't survive without those support. I mean, when I first came home, I couldn't cook.
Yeah.
Some people had to come in and cook for me.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of support that you can't survive without these things. And they will have seen all that in the hospital before they will say, who is at home with you? What in Africa, I don't know, maybe it's different, it's done differently there. But there they will have had who's at home with you. Do you have enough home support? And make sure that, you know, you're not left alone.
I want to say thank you guys for sending out your questions and continue to support her channel and also what she's trying to do. So Lola made a promise to God that she wants to tell the story. And before we start this interview, we were just talking about the trial that we're going through and how people hide and don't want to talk about what God is doing to them because they're afraid. And I think we are more afraid of the devil than we are afraid of God. But I think that Jesus himself said we had a lamp, and there's a lamp posted there. You can see that it's not hiding under the bed. And how can you share the light of God if you don't tell? It's the responsibility of God to protect you. And I think that we have to say thank you to Lola to inspire us and to want to tell. Now, Lola might not have the strength as much as she wants, but if you have a testimony and you want us to get online to talk about your testimony, please contact her. I'm willing to support her with that. But please don't forget to tell everybody about what God has done to you.
And buy the book.
And buy the book. Thank you. Thanks for coming on to Face of Faith. And I'm Eileen, Lola's friend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.